All rise. If a member of the public would like to lead the invocation, if not, let's please recognize a moment of silence. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Welcome to the Tuesday, November 18th, Ravenswood City Council meeting. This meeting will now be called to order. Roll call. Cullen. Here. Slavin. Here. Kuhn. Here. Bloxton. Here. Mayor Miller here. Ritchie. Here. Scritchfield. Here. We have a quorum. I'll call this meeting to order now. First item on the agenda is to consider and act upon the prior meeting minutes from October 21st, 2025. I'll give you a minute to look at that. And then before we do public forum, because Carly's got a long way to go and the weather's not great, I'm going to let her step up and do her update and draw down requests before, so we can get her out of here. Okay.
Motion to accept the minutes from last meeting.
We have a second?
Second.
Call the question on that. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? That motion is adopted. The minutes are considered passed. Next item on the agenda, again, before public forum, Carly, I know you got a long way to go, so I'm going to let you step up. If you don't mind to turn your mic on, and then just after you're done with your presentation and updates, just remind me to do that drawdown.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. So usually I provide an update on the sewer project, but tonight I'd like to switch things up and take a moment to highlight another project that was recently and successfully completed in Ravenswood. So at the Silver Hills water storage tanks, we observed some earth movement that raised concerns for long-term stability of those two tanks. If left unaddressed, this movement had the potential to worsen and ultimately put those water tanks at risk. So to correct this, the city selected a contractor to restabilize that tank platform. And this was actually done by driving really long steel rods into the ground at an angle, and then there was a concrete retaining wall placed. So I included a handout of some before and after pictures of the tank stabilization. The before picture was a little hard to see because of all the overgrowth, but that land was slipping there. And as you can also see in those pictures, the tank site was extended a little bit. This just allowed for some more parking and easier for maintenance to get in there and park. So, do you guys have any questions about that project?
No, that was great work. I appreciate you guys getting it done. I know it took a while, but we got it done, and that site's stable for the foreseeable future. Any questions on that? So the next item I've got, do you have anything you going to do anything on the sewer? We're just going to stick with the water updates.
Yeah, I'll just give a quick update on the Phase 2A project. So I've been mentioning for the past several months that we just have a little bit more work at the lagoons before that project is final. And we got an update today that the control panels should be in by the end of the week, and the contractor intends to install those the week after Thanksgiving. So hopefully by mid-December, the lagoons will be complete and they'll be able to start accepting new flow.
Just for information, I think I heard it right, the TIMET expects flow in March?
Yes, that's what they reported today.
Yep. And we have one draw here. It's actually, and for some reason the tab says draw 24. When you open the document, this is actually draw 25. We've already passed draw 24. This is for Phase 2A. Like we said, we're getting towards the end of all this. The invoices I have here is the Thrasher Group, $50,700, invoice number 1000271. Steve Koger, November invoice in the amount of $2,160. MOVRC invoice in the amount of $2,730.88. And I'm going to send this back to Andy or modify it myself, we need to also add Bob Newell's consulting invoice for the month in here, and I think that was $55 for this specific project. Let me double check. Yeah, it was for October 2025, it's $55. And all I ask is for, to review this and approve that resolution so we can send it to the WDA. I'll give you a few minutes to take a look at it. But I just need to make sure in that motion we were clear that we added Bob Newell's invoice to this as well for $55. Oh, and excuse me, the total drawdown for this outside of Bob's was $55,590.88. Do we have a second? Any further discussion? Call the question on this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is adopted, and this resolution is passed as presented. Next, thank you, Carly. You got anything, any other questions for Carly?
The only question I have, we gotta put the fence back up around.
Yes. Yeah, so the city will reinstall that fence around there.
Thank you, Carly.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks
Have a
for
safe
moving me
trip
out.
back. Yep, you're very welcome. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and move on to public forum. Next item on the agenda is, again, public forum. Dana Skeens.
Good evening. Hey, a couple weeks ago, I FOIA'd a request of a lease agreement between the city of Ravenswood and the Smokehouse Pavilion Restaurant. And I got a answer back saying that did not exist. And in the minutes of March 4th of 25, in the minutes, it says, Counselor Fox moved to approve a 5-year lease with the Smokehouse Pavilion in the amount of $3,000 a month. Seconded by Counselor Slavin, all members voting yes except for Counselor Collin, being it's the town sheriff. Now, one of these statements can't be right, right? So my question is, which one's not right?
The agreement doesn't exist because it's a contingency. It's a verbal agreement upon completion of the project. Because this, I learned from the medical marijuana place. You spend all this time and effort to put together hundreds of pages of paperwork, and then they just back out. So all this was a verbal agreement. Once the building is complete, the actual lease agreement will be signed. This is more like a MOU or a memorandum of understanding. There's no physical copy of the lease agreement because it doesn't exist.
That doesn't say that
Well, I
in the
mean,
minutes.
you can go back and watch the meeting. I mean, it's a verbal, it's an agreement that if this project gets completed and the building is built, that we will enter into that lease agreement. Because with the cost of everything, I mean, if the building ends up being smaller, the lease space, the cost of the lease could go down. This was just a contingency lease and almost an MOU to move forward. Because if the project doesn't happen, I mean, they're not paying anything, and it's a waste of time putting together an agreement. So it's a verbal agreement until this project's completed.
So we don't know any particulars other than that. You guys didn't discuss anything? Who's going to put the light fixtures up? Who's going to put the kitchen in? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? All you guys said, hey, $3,000 a month, and
Well,
it.
that's actually part of the bid package that gets put out for bid. Who's
So
responsible
the
for what?
the only issue you have in a lease agreement is $3,000, and that's it? There's more to it than that, I'm sure.
Yes, the project has to be completed so we can put the physical lease agreement together. This was a verbal contingency. And the reason we did that is exactly what happened with the medical marijuana place. They were gonna spend all this money leased the city hall, and then at the last second, they backed out. It's a waste of time, resources, and money, because we have to make sure that this building is finished and completed before we start putting all the physical paperwork together. This was just an understanding. This was a business that was going to go in here once this is completed. Then you'll get a copy of the lease agreement.
Was that project ever, just question, just out of the blue, was that project ever opened up for anybody else other than the sheriff?
Yeah, I keep getting this question. I think it's a reasonable question, but if you've not dealt in this realm before, then I can understand the confusion. I mean, in terms of economic development, I mean, you can lease spaces for fair market value to anybody. It's not you just put out a bid and see who wants to be a part of it. I mean, this was an economic opportunity brought to us, and I've said it several times. The reason that we're doing this, I don't care if it's a restaurant, a conference center. I don't care if you put batting cages in there and let kids hit or kick soccer balls around. This restaurant could fail in a year, and then we got to put something else in there. The purpose is we're getting $1.5 million in grant money. I hope that we can work with the contractor to get it within that range, because if we don't, we're not going to do it. But you can't buy a Lamborghini and then not be responsible for the expenses. So the idea of having commerce in there is so you can maintain the building and upkeep it. I don't care. I've made it very clear. I don't care if it's the Sheriff's Steakhouse or Lance wants to put in a sports complex inside of it. It's all about having revenue to maintain that building. So if the restaurant does well, I'm happy for them. If it fails, we'll find someone else to put in there.
But I would assume, so being as this is a government agency, that there would be a bid process that goes on. Did your potential proprietor issue a business plan?
At first, I said no, and I did not realize that they did, but apparently they did submit stuff to the RDA, because this was originally under the RDA until it got dissolved.
So that's something we could FOIA.
I've never seen it, so
You haven't seen it?
not from the RDA.
Don't you think it'd be important for you to look at?
Yeah, very much so. But again, we're not even to the point where we're completing this, and our job is to lease space, not to run someone's business. If they
Well,
fail, that's on them as a business. Just like if anybody else comes in there, if they wanted to open up a souvenir shop, it's not my job to tell them how to run their business. It's my job to lease space to them so you can generate revenue to take care of the building.
Don't you think that the last proposed budget or the bid was $3.3 million? Don't you think $3,000 a month rent is kind of low?
Oh, it's not going to be it's not going to get built for 3.3 million. It's going to get built for 1.5 million. We're going to sit down with the contractor and we're going to work this out, because we're not spending more than what the grant. Unless I go back to council, if it's $100,000 over, I go back to council and I say, hey, we're very close. Do you want to help fund the rest of this? But anything more than that, it's just, we're not going to do it. We'll have to figure out another way.
Okay, let's call it 1.5. Don't you think 1.5 million and $3,000 a month rent is ridiculously low?
Not for this market area, because $3,000 a month, $2,800 a month, $2,000 a month, that's probably the highest leasing space in Ravenswood. I know, because I see all these things that are rented. That will be your highest leasing space in Ravenswood, likely. And it's grant funded. I mean, all I care about,
It's
that's fair enough.
taxpayer
Yes,
money.
sir.
Point of order, Dana, I don't mean to be cutting you off, but he's past his 5 minutes.
I didn't start thank you. I didn't start the timer, sorry.
We can set up some time and continue to discuss it with you at any point, Dana. And I'll make a point to set that up for you if you'd like to.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else wish to speak? All right. If not, public forum is now closed. Moving on to the next. Got the police department reports to council. I know Chief is going to step up here.
Good evening. Do all of you have my report? So you can see our total misdemeanor arrests. We had 123 misdemeanor arrests. We had a total of 134 arrests, and for the calendar year, we have a total of 946 arrests. Fines and fees, we collected $4,340 in fines and fees, and for the calendar year, we're over $43,000. You can see our overtime there. We have, of course, the SHIELD program, highway safety, K-9. You can see our total overtime there and reimbursed. Quite a bit of that is reimbursed from the highway safety. Our mileage, we drove over 12,000 miles last month. The average price was $3.58 a gallon. Code enforcement is still active. Danny's active all day. I mean, it's a very pertinent function for the city. And of course, below that, you see our continued and ongoing community participation, as we feel that's an important part of the.
Code enforcement numbers year to date.
That's for the last month.
He removed 5 vehicles last month.
Yes. Any questions on the, of course, attached to it, like I always do, is the monthly form that dispatch always sends me for the, in particular, calls for service. Any questions on that? Okay, the mayor wanted me to do this during this period of time. We have employees for the city that do a lot and seldom get recognized. And so I'm going to start by recognizing some of those employees tonight, because I feel it's pertinent that not only the council, but the citizens of Ravenswood know some of the work that goes on. Megan, will you come up here? Megan has been a very, very important part and has been very helpful to us in filling in a lot of gaps. And she's worked a lot of time. She has worked a lot of time at home. She's helped me a lot. And so I'm giving her a certificate of commendation for her hard work and stepping forward and being willing to do things that she's asked. And I want to read it now. On this 18th day of November 2025, Megan Thompson is the recipient of the certificate of commendation for service as set forth. Throughout her service with the city of Ravenswood, Megan Thompson has consistently demonstrated professionalism, adaptability, and dedication to public service. During a period of significant operational transition, Megan stepped forward to fill critical administrative gaps, ensuring continuity of essential city functions and support for all departments. Megan has taken on a wide range of responsibilities, including payroll and benefits coordination, financial processing, public communications, record management, and support for city boards and commissions. Her ability to manage complex and overlapping duties with accuracy and composure has been instrumental in maintaining efficiency and stability within City Hall. Her work ethic, attention to detail, and willingness to assume added responsibility reflect commitment well beyond expectation. Through her leadership, initiative, and service to her colleagues and community, Megan has exemplified the values of dedication and teamwork that strengthen the city of Ravenswood. It is with great pride that I present her with this certificate of commendation. Proud of you. Good job. Yeah, you can say. This second one isn't for you, Megan. All right, I'm going to ask Bob to come forward. I'm going to, before I read this, there's a lot of generalities in these certificates, but there's a lot of specificities behind them. I don't know if you realize it or not, but before Josh started, the city had no way of tracking our water and sewer. The maps were obsolete. They would get a water leak. They didn't know where the shut-off valves were. They had a hard time shutting a valve off. And I think it was 2014 or 16? We had that big water leak at Parmar. And that was probably one of the biggest deals, according to Bob, in a long time. They were having a hard time shutting the water off. And so, in addition to that, and over the years, there's been some things that have significantly improved. One being now the ability to get on his cell phone and now see where all the water and sewer lines are. That's a significant technological advancement. Secondly, when I first started in 2010, the city had to have an individual walking around town to every single water meter. They had to touch it with a wand, and they had to read every person's water reading. There was a lot of room for error in that system, whether it be from the water meter reading guy or from the numbers in City Hall. And I witnessed a lot of that confusion personally in City Hall back in those days. Now we have the ability to read it from City Hall from an antenna with one person who can drive around town. And not only is that good and efficient for our maintenance workers, but for our citizens, it protects them, because as soon as they get these readings, they can look at someone's household and they have a pattern of use. And if there's a fluctuation in that pattern of use, it's an immediate sign that somebody's water's leaking. And so when their water bill starts to go up, our maintenance department usually can just readily identify it now. And there's been a lot of other things that have went on that has advanced us quite a bit. And Bob's been here, and he's seen a lot of projects through, and I think it's time he be recognized for it. Since on this 18th day of November 2025, Maintenance Director Bob Huffman is the recipient of a certificate of commendation for set forth in the following citation. Since joining the city in 2014 and through his tenure as maintenance director, Bob Huffman has led significant improvements to critical infrastructure. His work includes correcting long-standing system issues, replacing aging water and sewer lines, upgrading booster pumps and valves, rehabilitating city water tanks, and guiding preparations for the new sewer plant and pump stations. His efforts have strengthened the reliability of critical infrastructure, protected public resources, and supported long-term growth for the city of Ravenswood. Director Huffman also managed the city's first complete digital mapping of water and sewer lines and directed the implementation of radio read metering technology. These advancements replaced outdated manual processes, increased efficiency, and ensured accurate real-time system information for field operations in City Hall. Through the proven leadership, technical expertise, and a commitment to responsible management, Director Huffman has delivered meaningful process for the residents of Ravenswood. With his direction and the work of the entire maintenance department, Director Huffman and his team have made major contributions to the city of Ravenswood. And it is with great pride that I present him the certificate of commendation.
Do you have any more, or is it just the two of them?
Just to,
Can I get a picture with both of them with you?
yes. Bob told me he wanted to be in the paper. He said that.
If you want to just stand right here behind the podium, I'll get her right here.
Up in front of it.
Yeah. All right.
See, we got, this is our fire department here. Been a minute.
Has been a minute. Since nobody knows who I am, I'll introduce myself. I'm Mike DeLong with the fire department over here, and I know that Josh will tell you that most of our stuff is on Facebook, and they're very good about sharing it on the city page. We get a lot of shares. We've got a good group of young people over there that do a fantastic job with our social media. So I encourage everybody, if you don't, follow, like, and share our post so you know what's going on. And if you ever have a question, call me, come see me, and we'll sit down and answer that question. But what I'm here for this evening is we, as a fire department, I just want to come here and thank the mayor, Josh Miller, and the members of city council for having our back over the years. And I'll just say it right now, there was times before, and I know we got some newer guys here, that we didn't feel like we mattered with the city council, but we feel that we do matter with you guys now, and we appreciate that. It doesn't go unnoticed over there across the street, and we know it, okay? Just so you know that. A lot of things you guys put in place have helped us to get to where we are today. And we won't discuss them, but there's a lot of those issues there. So I just want to thank you guys for everything that you do. A couple other things real quickly. Bob and Tim, any issues we have, fire, water, problems with the building, they need us to come shuttle water for them. We worked well together. They're very easy to work with. And so I appreciate the guys, all the guys in the city maintenance department, if we need to. They need us or we need them. But there's three issues that I'd like to talk about real quick here. And we get a lot of donations from the community. I'm going to speak about three of them right here. And I don't mean to not talk about them all, but they do make a difference and we do use them for good. The first one real quick was a community foundation grant, Parkersburg Community Foundation grant. That assisted us in buying new protective equipment, bunker gear for our firefighters, and it was very instrumental in that. The next one is the new bank up here, Home National, give us a donation. It was just for, here not too long ago, and you all shared it on your Facebook page. That helped us offset the cost of all the literature and things we bought for Fire Prevention Week and handed out. So if you had kids or grandkids or anything at school, they come home with little things when we went up to visit them. That helped offset the cost of that.
And they love that, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we love doing it for the kids. I mean, we love doing anything for the kids. But the one I really want to talk about the most is, and this happened back in late spring, early summer, was Dollar General up there had a program where they collected Gatorade for the fire department. And that was shared, and oh my goodness, it was unbelievable how much Gatorade we had. And it was a program they had, and if you came in as a customer and you wanted to buy some extra Gatorade, and they collected it for the fire department, and we were able, and then they would call and we'd come get it, and it was a lot. It was a lot. And that came from the citizens of this town, the patrons of the Dollar General. I've talked to the ladies up there about how much was appreciated, the effort that they did, but I here want to publicly thank anybody that went to the Dollar General and bought 2 extra Gatorades and they put them over in the container for the fire department. When we come back off of a call, it was very good for our men and women, to be able to rehydrate. We're out here training to rehydrate, and it's just unbelievable how much of that stuff we go through. So I want to thank the community for the support that they have given us over the years, and thank everybody that did that up there at Dollar General to help us out this spring. That's all I got. Anybody any questions?
Thank you for
If you had any
coming.
questions, I was going to let Bill answer.
Yeah. All right, Maintenance Department, Bob and Tim.
You guys texting each other?
Yeah. Did you get the,
It's in there.
did they get
Yeah.
it? Okay.
You guys have any questions on what we do?
Leaves?
Leaves will be running through in December, maybe a little after New Year's, but we should be in pretty good shape come end of December.
Does my button work?
Yeah, just push it and that red light will come on. There you go.
There it
It's
goes.
on.
Okay.
Yep.
Does it require a call to get you guys to come do, or do you do it on a schedule?
Initially, we've asked customers to call in.
Okay.
Because.
I had a
some
question
leaves
about it
call
the other day,
later-
yeah.
Earlier than later, and
Uh-huh.
so we normally try to do that. This time of the year, after the first cold and the wind and the rain, just about everybody has leads.
Yep.
So, we only have one machine, so we do our best to try to get the ones who called in, but we also try to get their neighbors if they haven't called in. If we're on that street, we tell the guys just to go ahead and get everything, not just that address that's called in.
Where do you dump them?
Down to the old sewer plant.
And it's free access if you want
Yeah.
some of it? Okay.
Yes. Actually, I had a resident the other day ask me to dump a load in his yard, and we did. He was, for raised beds,
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good.
so we can do that. It's either dump here or there.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? The one thing we can add to this is I did sign that agreement to extend the Constellium, the cardboard pickup and stuff for a year.
Okay.
because you approved that, and Steve as well. So that's been a successful project doing that for some of these industries where we know the Solid Waste Authority has been short-staffed. So we extended an agreement with Constellium for another 12 months. They were pleased with our services, and they wanted to continue. So you guys are building a reputation.
Thank you.
And the other thing, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot with this, but we're talking about leaf pickup and stuff. We have discussed about doing some downtown Main Street street sweeping and cleaning. And after Thanksgiving or the New Year, we're gonna try to come up with some type of schedule. We talked, I mean, are we still on board with that?
Yes.
Just to let the downtown shop owners know, and that we're gonna start focusing at least once a week, hopefully, or once every 2 weeks on cleaning up the Main Street using the leaf machines and vac truck and stuff like that.
Right.
So, yeah, I've had a lot of requests about that, and Bob and Tim's have been very receptive to it, and I know Molly will probably be excited about that as well. She cleaning up downtown, so you guys are doing a great job. I appreciate you. You guys got any questions for him?
You know, we do have some customers here in town, cardboard recycling. We could always maybe use more if someone's wanting to join that program. If we could get, some people may not know.
You think you want to try to, well, I don't know if that'd be overkill, create some type of flyer for the businesses and drop them off if they're interested in it. But we got to make sure we have our rates consistent and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. That's something to think about.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Bob, you got anything? Sure. Always love this comment. Sure.
Steve and I actually had a conference call with Department of Highways this morning on the High River projects, getting the docks in, the kayak launch in. Of course, you know, hopefully we'll have everything in place by the springtime. We're going to shoot for that. In the meantime, we'll have to get Thrasher to do some plans so that they can, the Department of Highways can do an agreement with the city. That's one where we have a $150,000 grant to do the kayak launch alone. So anyhow, that's moving along very slow, but nevertheless moving along.
Yeah, Bob, just curious, what's the Department of Highways have to do with the boat launch?
Well, the FLAP grant came from the federal highways. For
The grant
whatever
for
reason.
the
Kayak
kayak?
launch.
Really?
Yeah, it's the FLAP grant is a federal lands access program. That's what the grant's for. It's so they can basically get onto the federal lands in the High River, the two islands. And so anyhow, the federal highways had it for the longest time. Then somebody quit and they dropped it. I mean, it's been a kind of a mess with them. But once it finally got past that hurdle, they transferred to the Department of Highway, West Virginia. And again, Attorney Kogar and I spoke with them today, and you know, we've been sending them emails telling them we need to get moving because another construction season has gone by and we haven't been able to install it. So, but hopefully we're on track to do that. And of course, you know, the last piece on Sand Creek is the boat ramp and the stone riprap, so to speak, in front of the docks. And you know, Ampico is the one that is going to do that for us. And we missed a window in the summertime because SHPO and the Department or Corps of Engineers were going back and forth on some permitting issues. So he got very busy, but he still believes as of a couple weeks ago that he'll be able to get that in this fall. So that'll be done. That's really it at this point.
Just real quick, just so people know, because this has been a long time stretched out, the FLAP grant is for a kayak launch on the Ohio River.
Yeah, kayak canoe launch,
Yeah.
ADA accessible. It's not like the one that's on Sand Creek where it's attached to a dock. It's a standalone dock itself.
Yeah.
And so it's a significant piece of equipment that goes into the river.
I figured that was something to mention because this has drug on for a little while
Yeah,
in
it
case
has.
people are wondering where that's going to go. Okay. All right. Thank you, Bob. Now, Vicki, she's going to come in later here. She's our new financial systems consultant. I'm not going to put her on the spot today, but you'll hear more from her moving forward. But she'll come in here at the later part of the meeting. But if we'll get to that. Vicki, if you want to stand up real quick, you don't have to say anything, but this, Vicki Hudson, she's our financial systems consultant. She's who we hired to bring in to take a look at all of our financial processes and operations. So she'll have more to come here over the next few months. So boards, commissions, authorities, we'll go ahead first with Downtown Ravenswood Partners. I've got your report here, Molly, and we'll also, we'll do the resolution and the bylaws here in a little bit. I'll just let you do the report to start.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. So our big event we have coming up is on November 29th. It's a Shop Small Saturday, River Lights Night. So Shop Small Saturday is a nationwide promotion that American Express is kind of backing. And so we had to apply to become a part of it, and we were approved. And so they shipped us a box of merchandise that we could distribute to all of our small, locally owned retail shops in town. And so we did that. We had 10 packets that we distributed, and that was to, of course, for our downtown shops. But we also did include Mountain Mama, JCD Trading, and Ravenswood Floral, also as retail shops that are definitely under that umbrella of Shop Small. And so we wanted to make sure that they feel included in what's going on in downtown, and they were very, very happy about that. And so what we're doing on that day is, in addition to the Shop Small, starting at 4 p.m., we also have 38 tote bags that are being filled as we speak with contributions from our shops and businesses here in Ravenswood. Everything from samples to coupons and gift certificates and flyers and all sorts of goodies. We're also doing, Downtown Ravenswood Partners is also doing a wooden token. We're calling it Ravens Gold, and it's worth $10. And so it has all of our businesses printed on there. And so we'll have one of those in each of those tote bags. And so when people receive the tote bag, they can then redeem that just like a gift card at any of the shops that's listed on the token. Then when those shops receive that, we will then cut a check for them for the amount, whatever the amount comes out to be, to help those businesses. And so at 4 p.m. we'll have a table set up in downtown, and people can come and line up, and first come, first serve. Whoever, the first 38 people in line will get a tote bag. And then the idea would be that they can just start shopping right then and there, just start using all those coupons and gift certificates and everything, all the goodies that they have in their bag. We're going to have music downtown, and we'll do what we call a cocoa crawl. So what that means is that any of our downtown businesses that want to participate can have different flavors of hot cocoa or some sort of Christmas treat. It doesn't have to be cocoa if they don't want to, but like peppermint or caramel, just something fun. So as people are shopping, they can go into the store and they can get a little free 2-ounce, 3-ounce cup of cocoa and a little treat. And at 6 p.m., we'll have a Christmas tree lighting on the grassy lot beside Las Fajitas. So we actually have a 13-foot tall tree. It's for outdoors. We had to end up getting an LED tree instead of a typical Christmas tree because it's very hard to find regular Christmas trees for outdoors. But it's beautiful. It's really colorful and huge. And so we'll light that up at 6 p.m. and thank our sponsors and also recognize our lamppost sponsors. So kind of the final part of all of this is we're offering sponsorships, Adopt a Lamppost, what we're calling it, where businesses or individuals in town could, for $25, sponsor a lamppost that they would decorate themselves. And for $50, they could sponsor one that Downtown Ravenswood Partners would purchase the decorations and put onto the post. So we actually have sold all of them but one. So that's really exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Decorations, for those who are decorating their own, they'll start next week. We also have gift tags that have waterproof paper that will print it out with their message. They have like a message, that each sponsor wants to put on there. We'll attach that to each post. And so as people drive down the street, they can see who sponsored each post.
All but one, you said?
All but one. Yeah.
I'll take the last one.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be getting pictures in front of the lampposts and recognizing all of the Adopt a Lamppost sponsors. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. I encourage everyone to come out. It's something very different that we're doing, and I think it's going to be fun. So that was a lot of the events and promotions. And then, of course, the downtown meet and treat on October 25th was a big success. I don't really know how many folks showed up, but I would guess probably close to 400. I mean, there were a lot of kids and families, and it was I hope all of you, got to see we got a couple little videos made and put it on our Facebook page. It was a lot of fun. Hope to do that again next year. Real quick, sorry guys, retaining wall mural, Ravenswood Arts finished the retaining wall mural. I'm sure everyone has seen it. It looks amazing. We're gonna put out applications for the rest of the wall to be painted. There's a little shorter pieces to the left, but it's probably a little too cold right now. We might have to pick that back up again in the spring. And the mural mosaic project's moving forward. We have a finalized design. It's actually gonna be a raven in front of the river. And it's I think really beautiful. So Muir Mosaic's doing their part now. They're painting it. They're cutting it into 300 tiles, and we're going to be probably get the kit here in hopefully a couple more months when they're finished with it. And we intend to have everything finished for that in June 2026 is the time frame we're aiming for. We had 3 more benches ordered for downtown, and I really want to thank Katrina for her help with that. She was the one, coordinated with the citizens who were interested in purchasing those benches and did all the legwork in making that happen. So many thanks to her for that. And we're excited to have 3 more benches on our downtown streets for folks to sit on. So I think at that point we should probably have plenty, but we'll see, I guess, after those 3 are in place. And grants, I'll be applying for T-Mobile Hometown Grant by December 30th to purchase, hopefully if we get the grant, we can purchase wayfinding signage for downtown. And I actually just today got the designs for that, and we'll be at our board meeting next week. Our board will be looking at them, and hopefully we'll be approving and moving forward with that. So that's going to be welcome to historic Ravenswood signs on both ends of the historic district, and some parking signs, and a kiosk in downtown so people know where the stores are located. So it's going to look really professional and very nice. I'm excited about that. And I have a couple others that I'm working on. Most of these are in the planning stages. We did, and I talked about the SHPO grant previously. So and continuing to work with Main Street Ripley and Jackson County Schools on a county-wide volunteer pipeline concept. This is, so if anyone knows any nonprofits in Jackson County who need a fairly regular stream of volunteers, please have them contact me. And the idea is that we'll have a group of us, including Main Street Ripley and Downtown Ravenswood Partners and some other nonprofits like Sleep in Heavenly Peace for sure is interested. With the Humane Society, we're thinking hopefully will also be interested. And so we'll partner with the schools and have a program with them set up so that if kids want to volunteer, they can choose which nonprofit that they feel that they'd like to volunteer with out of that group. And we'll have a process and system that makes it very easy for them to volunteer and choose which nonprofit that they want to volunteer with. And so really excited about that. And let's see, more or less just average day-to-day stuff for the rest of it. So I'll stop talking now. Any questions?
You're doing a great job, Molly.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Molly?
Good job.
Yes, great job, Molly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
We have anything for planning? I know we've had a lot going on.
We're preparing, and I need to have discussions with you on the selection of a resource to edit and create the actual code that would then go into public forum for comment.
Okay.
That code will be formatted for insertion into the ordinances in the city.
You want to do that after Thanksgiving or before? What are you thinking?
I need to talk to you about, and I talked to Steve a little bit earlier today about how to do that and how we can do that.
Okay.
I just need to get your okay on.
Okay.
addressing, yeah.
All right.
My real question was, does that resolution need to come before council? And if it does, we can answer it outside of here. We'll put it on the next agenda.
Okay, that's fine. I'd say it would, yeah.
Okay?
Yep. All right, anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Parks and Rec, and I think Katrina's doing the museum part as well. There you go, you're good.
Hello, everybody. I'll just hit some of the highlights. At Veterans Park, I think people have taken notice of the light fixtures there. The city maintenance guys installed those. They look terrific. They were on this evening. I get a lot of compliments on those, and I make sure people that compliment them I give the credit to the maintenance department because I'm not up on the ladder. Going to our campground marina, I want to announce that I've already had people reach out for boat reservations for 2026. So if you're listening out there and you want to reserve a boat slip, please get in touch with me. You can do it through the Facebook page or contact on the website itself, cityofravenswood.com. McIntosh Memorial Park, I don't think that there's anything to talk about at this time, but I have those reports if you're interested in them. Washington's Riverfront Park, I did meet with SHPO in person, and I corresponded with them through emails. I had the log cabin evaluated by conservation specialists. I think it was good news what he had to say because I think it's something that's well within our means. I'll bring that to council at the next meeting after Bow Park submits a resolution based on what we would like to do with that project. The museum roof, of course, we know needs repaired, and the Sierra log cabin was, leaking again today. But we'll get through it. And Bob took a contractor down there to have a look at it to see what some possibilities would be, just to kind of do some spot fixes and see if.
Has he sent you anything yet? Will you follow up with him this week? Okay, thank you.
The contractor for the Sierra log cabin did not recommend covering it with a tarp because I've chased down the leaks, and he said if I just keep buckets in the attic and keep those emptied out, it should be okay. So that's what I'm doing. But he didn't feel like it was going to damage the rafters, and all the sheathing's going to have to be replaced anyway. So be that what it may. If you'll notice, the Christmas decor has been installed down at the park, and that's really been my focus for the last couple of weeks, intensive focus. I can't thank the maintenance guys enough because they're the ones that actually put up the displays, and I go through and do all the wiring and the clipping and the fixing, and I have volunteers to do that too. We did, within 2 hours time, get all the volunteers that we needed for the gingerbread house for the entire holiday season, which I think is amazing. And I have a list of backups for if people don't show up. So I think
within 2 hours.
Yeah. I put it on Facebook and I sit there and I wait for it because it's like popcorn, and I have to put everybody in place because if somebody gets out of line, I hear about it. So, but great things. The Veterans Day decor was completed, and we started a new tradition of 10 days of remembrance. That was done, like, we started that 2 days before, but next year I think that's going to be a bigger thing. That's something where we come at 5:30, and it's very, it's not formal at all. It's very casual, and we talk about or read about a veteran that lost his life in military service, and it's just to read their name and recognize what they did, and it just takes about a half an hour. This was our first year. We didn't have much turnout, but that was okay. We didn't care if it was just 1 or 2 of us that came, but that did go on, and you'll see more about that next year. And when I say all planting areas were winterized throughout the park system, I mean I've pulled hoses, made sure nothing's going to break, and done what I can. I won't be cutting those things out or cleaning them up for quite some time. Kevin Clegg Trail Systems, of course, Thursday evening hikes. Those have moved to Saturday morning out there, so it goes from 9 to 10, and there's someone there, Rod, who will lead the hikes. He makes sure that it's appropriate for whoever it shows up. If it's someone that needs to go slow, they do all speeds and levels. They've been doing that for, 2 years now. Wednesday bike rides continue from 5:30 to 6:30. You're going to have to bring a headlamp if you want to participate. The annex continues to get used on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, birthday parties. So it's really evolved into something that's been a good thing for the city. In addition, I was there all day with Tanya Bowers as we were making garland for the park system. So we use that as a nice workspace, and we use the greenhouse for that too. A little cold today, so we moved inside. I did want to mention, I don't have anything on here really for Webmaster, but when we were first talking about putting these meetings back online, Councilor Kuhn mentioned doing it on YouTube. And I gave that some thought, and that's something that we may want to consider moving forward. Because if we're putting it on Facebook, it only can be viewed by people who have Facebook accounts. So it's not really public for everybody. That can be done, and if you do that, in addition, we have to there's a service that will closed caption them live as the meeting's going on, and that's really going to bring us into compliance for that. So it's something you may want to consider.
So if you don't have Facebook, you can't watch the live stream, but once you archive it, people can go back and watch it, correct?
Right. Right.
I just wanted to make sure.
That's true, but that doesn't make it compliant because there's got to
Talking
be
about
a,
ADA compliance, okay, I know what you're saying.
because it makes them have to jump through another hoop to do it. They should be
Facebook
able to
doesn't-
watch it live just like everybody else.
We don't have an option where we can do that with Facebook?
Well, after I put it on YouTube, I can close caption it, but it's different then. Then they're having to go through another hoop to watch it when someone like me does not. So they need to be able to watch it live just like everybody else with closed captioning.
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to make sure that the viewer base that wants to see it, I mean, I don't think a lot of people know how to mess with YouTube, but they can get on Facebook. I think there's pros and cons to all of it, but we can't do both, I don't think.
Well, we wouldn't have to do both. We would just do YouTube on our YouTube channel.
All right.
I mean, I'll continue to look into
Figure
it.
out how to make that work, and I just want to make sure we are ADA compliant with all that, so that's a good thought. I like that.
I do listen.
I like that.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was like
I
leaning
think-
on you there. My
I
bad.
think there should be a way to do it. A lot of the churches stream both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So,
Okay.
You wouldn't have, but I'm saying you wouldn't have to do both. But
Right.
yeah, you could do one and it would suffice.
but like the mayor says, there's a lot of people that don't use YouTube, that use Facebook.
The only thing I care about is, like, I mean, listen, I want people to watch the live stream. I mean, I would love it. But the whole purpose of doing this wasn't about the live stream. It was about having an archival video. So when people went back and watched something, it's like, hey, Josh said this on March whatever. Well, you can go back and look what Todd said, what Jeff said, what Eric said, what Steve said. That's really the main focus of this. But if we're going to do this and we need to be ADA compliant, then we need to get it done.
Okay.
So regardless of the live stream, I don't personally care about the live stream. I just care that the video is archived for the future. So,
I'll keep working on it.
okay.
Question, are you going to sell out of the greenhouse this spring?
I don't think so.
Shoot, okay.
But I'm working on something there. So we'll see. I'm thinking about doing a garden club, and we'll figure it out. Tanya and I had a lot of time to talk about that today. I'm going to give the Great Bend Museum report. I don't think I can be as smiley and happy as Addie can, but I'll try. This week, the museum has been busy preparing for our upcoming event on November 20th. We will be hosting a $1 movie night at the Historic Alpine Theater that's in Ripley, and this is part of our Weisheit series that we have going on for the year. The movie is set in her time in the 20s. Or is it? No, that would be the Titanic. So we're going to go with the 19 teens. The doors open at 6:30, and the film The Unsinkable Molly Brown will begin at 7 p.m. Admission is just $1, and we're looking forward to a great community turnout. On the collection side, we have completed cataloging all the items from the Jim Porter collection, and I can tell you this was a big collection. Work has begun on planning an exhibit for next summer, which will feature these materials and also tie in some of the other donations they have, bands and costumes and uniforms. Our object for the month of November is the brass chandelier from the original county courthouse, which can now be viewed in the museum's second gallery space and has already sparked strong visitor interest. And I do want to say, Addie writes the museum memo in the newspaper, and she wrote such a beautiful column about this piece and about what she has done this month. And she put so much thought and originality into them. I think every month I'm like, that's the best one she's written. And then she writes one that exceeds it. So it's worth looking at. And you can see that on the cityofwebsite.com. We also finalized the purchase of a large textile storage rack for our quilt collection. This will allow us to store quilts rolled up rather than folded, prevent increases, stress points, and long-term damage, an important step forward in the preservation of our textile holdings. Let me also remind you that that quilt came to us as a donation from the Benedim Foundation. Our co-op students and volunteers continue to make steady progress in cataloging and entering additional items into our collection system. Their help remains invaluable as we work to improve the organization and accessibility of our collections. Don't forget out there, if you want to see those photos and entries, you can go to cityofravenswood.com, get on the museum page, and you can see, as she demonstrated at the last meeting, all the different things you could look at there. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I don't have anything from HLC, so I'll move on to line 6 and 7 are actually together. I didn't realize that the names of the members, I did read the bylaws, I just didn't realize the names. I somehow blanked that out of the people serving on Downtown Ravenswood Partners. So Todd or Molly, if you want to speak to these, I mean, I'm fine and recommend these for passage. I think that they've been reviewed and I think they're good to go. But if anybody wants to know the names of the board members, I think I can at least say that before we make a motion to pass these, because they've already been through Downtown Partners. John Casey and Todd Ritchie, 1-year terms. Dee Scritchfield, Francesca George, and Melanie Mosser, 2-year terms. Jennifer Casey, Martin Unruh, and Andrea Knopp, 3-year terms. I'm fine with how these are structured. Steve, I still want you to put together a resolution like we do with the others, if you don't care, so we can put it on the website. I will, yeah. But I'm fine with all this, how it's presented, so line item 6 and line item 7, I would just like to ask for a motion to approve these. They're very well done, but if you do need a minute to continue to look through it, have at it.
So moved.
Do we have a second? All right, any discussion on these? Again, great work on all this, Molly. Keep doing good things. I'll call the question on these. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Records show that Dee and I abstained.
Yep. You got that? Just put abstain for Dee and Todd. So I called the question. They abstained. Motion passed. So resolution and the bylaws are considered approved as presented. Okay. Next item on the agenda, I've got a couple drawdowns for the projects. Let me pull these up. We already did phase 2A. I've got the marina and boat slips. As you'll see, let me pull this up. I've got the spreadsheet attached with it, how much funds are remaining for this specific part of the project. What I have here, this is draw number 6 for the marina and boat slip docks part of the project. DGR support, this is where they were installing additional security cameras for the new slips so we can monitor those live. That's invoice number 3443 from DGR Support LLC. That's our ITS support consultant. That's for $1,873. And then again, Bob Newell, who's constantly working on these projects, RD Newell and Associates, October 2025 project consulting services in the amount of $205. I've got the invoices attached, signed, along with the spreadsheet. If you guys so approve this after draw 6 for this part of the project, we still have $146,199.11 left for this specific part of the grant.
Are there plans for that?
We were talking about doing a linear transient boat slip in front of the potential Welcome Center and Business Incubator where boats can just pull up and tie on. It's not a rental spot. You see a lot of these in Kanawha County. Yeah, so we have 5 years to do that because the muscle study allows us, it's probably 4 now, right? Along with that kayak launch. So that some of that, and we'll still have money left over likely And we've also, I'll just tell you, the other thing we've discussed doing is, I don't know if we need it yet, is a diverter for the Sand Creek slips, boat slips, so that debris that's coming down Sand Creek doesn't pile up like it does on the Ohio River. They can install a diverter. I don't know if we need it yet. We'll kind of talk about that in the future. But we do have some plans with this underrun, because like I told you, I certainly don't want to give money back, grant money. So for this specific one, I'd like to recommend approval as presented.
So moved.
Do we have a second? Well, discussion? Call the question on this one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is adopted, and that resolution is considered passed. Okay, the next item is draw number 4. This is the bidding construction documents the Thrasher Group put together. This, again, draw number 4 for the Welcome Center Business Incubator. Invoice number 1039845 for $12,800. That's the only drawdown on this right now, because we're kind of at a standstill until we're going to meet with the lowest bid contractor on Friday to see if we can reverse engineer this and get this thing within the bid threshold. Or, not the bid threshold, I'm sorry, within the project budget, whether it means reducing square footage, whatever it takes to get us within that 1.5 million, and we're going to see if that's possible. The other option, like I said, is to go to the governor and potentially ask for an amendment, which I talked about last time. But I would rather see this thing get built. I think it's going to be nice.
Following up on Dana's question, do the principals involved in that understand that that was just a verbal commitment? Or-
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when the medical. That's a good
So that was
question.
like a budgetary quote.
Okay, so again, we agreed on a price, and I brought that, the contingency lease to this body to vote on. And I just didn't want to make the same mistake we did with the medical marijuana folks, because I remember when me and Steve Koger, we sat down and we went through pages and pages of contractual documents. We spent hours upon hours on that stuff, and then all of a sudden they back out.
Well, I
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
the
I know.
reason, I understand
Yeah,
the reason
so-
you did it and agree with it.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if the principals in the projected business one in there understands that that's
Yeah.
verbal only.
Yeah, and we approved the contingency lease, and I would say, there would be no reason that if we finish this project, that we would not go through with it. That's what I'm getting at, yes. So yes, they understood that.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, if the square footage reduces, we may have to come back and reduce the price, or if something changes and we have to increase the lease. This just gave us a baseline to go, to move forward, and to understand that we did have a legitimate proof of concept.
Okay.
Yep. So again, Friday, I should hopefully have some more updates when we sit down with that contractor. But this right here, you'll have the signed invoice, $12,800. That was for their assistance in bidding this out appropriately. If you look at the beginning award, 1.5 million. After this draw, we'll still have $1,404,225.24 left in that specific line item. And again, I'd like to recommend approval as presented. I'll give you a minute.
I move for approval.
We have a second? Any further discussion? Call the question on that one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is adopted. Thank you. I will get those signed and sent to the WDA. John Stump was supposed to show up here from, is he? There he is. It's been a minute, John. Come on in. If I knew you were out there, I'd have moved this up for you. I know you got to get back. I'm sorry about that. I didn't see you.
No problem. No problem.
Again, I explained this last time we did this extension, but I just feel like you're the man and you're the expert just to help them understand what this extension is and why we're doing it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm John Stump with Steptoe and Johnson. We're bond counsel for the city of Ravenswood. And in 2020, the city of Ravenswood borrowed $368,500 from the West Virginia Water Development Authority for purposes of financing upfront costs, design costs, but also other pre-construction costs related to the sewer project. Now, the sewer project has not yet gone to construction, as you know. And as a result, we've extended the payoff date on these on this bond anticipation note, construction anticipation note. We've extended the date on this multiple times. So tonight we're here to extend it one more time because we haven't gone to construction yet. When we do, this note will be paid off from the proceeds of the loan and grant for the project itself. Okay? So what we're doing this evening is you have before you a fifth supplemental resolution which authorizes an extension of the maturity date for the construction anticipation note to June 30th, 2026. So essentially, it gives us another 6 months to get the project to construction. And then at that point, again, once we get the project out to bid, get the bids in hand, and ready to sign contracts, we'll be in a position to pay this off.
We'll make sure we get this one across the finish line. It's been a while, but we've had a lot going on.
You do have a lot going on. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I just wanted John here to explain that because, I talk a lot,
Is this
so.
phase one?
Yeah, this is for phase one.
Phase one.
Yeah. Now, we have some congressionally directed spending money tied to that as well. So, we've got quite a bit of funds for that, but the WDA originally loaned us that money for design and other expenses. And with the investments coming in and the delay of all these things, it's caused us to have to continue to extend this note. But we won't extend it again. We'll be ready to go by this time.
One question I have is,
Sure.
the interest rate on what has already been drawn down.
Mhm.
That interest continues to build, right?
Yes, it does.
So it would behoove us to get it done quicker
Oh, yeah,
on all the projects that we've got going on.
100%. All right. Is there any other questions for John? It's good seeing you again, John.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Like I said, it's been a minute. All right, I'd just like to ask for a motion and a second to approve this, and I'll get this signed over and sent to, we're sending this to Marie, right?
You can send it to Marie directly, or you can send it to us, and then we'll get it to Marie. It's up to you.
I'll do it that way. That's a little better
Okay.
coming from a bond council.
Yeah, we need Jared to
Okay,
sign
I got
off,
you.
so.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Call the question on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is adopted. John, thank you very much. And again, I apologize. I didn't know you were out there.
No problem. So there's copies.
He's on the phone, so I'll stop by and get him to sign it, and I'll send you the copies in the morning. Does that work?
Okay, yeah.
Good seeing you, sir. Yep.
Take care. Thank you.
Bob, how are you? Good to see you.
Good, good.
All right. All right, so we've covered everything. Before we ask for executive session, I want to make sure Tuesday, December 16th at 7 PM is what we're shooting for. Again, November and December, we typically have one meeting, and it's the the third Tuesday of the month with all the holiday stuff, so usually works out for everybody's schedule. We good for Tuesday, December 16th? All right. All right, so for an executive session purposes, I've got two different line items here that need executive session addressed is personnel and legal matters related to the Ravenswood Police Department and personnel matters as it relates to potential org chart structuring, revision, and restructuring of City Hall and various departments. Do we have a motion to go into executive session for those items? Do we have a second? Any discussion on that? We'll call the question on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is adopted, and we are in executive session at 8:11 PM.